Welcome back to the Connect Network TV right here on the WDCW Channel 50, where money talks and so do we. So, if this is your first time, listen, thank you for tuning in. Call your mama, call your girlfriend, call all your friends because you know where we are going to talk money and money for your business on this Saturday.
That is right, Terry. It's time to level up. And if you are a Black woman in business, you really need to tap into today's episode because we are giving you the information you need to access the capital that you deserve.
Yes, Ellie, and the numbers don't lie. Research by the Harvard Business Review show that Black women are the most forceful entrepreneurs in the country, making significant impact in the economy, job creation, and innovation. However, despite their entrepreneurial prowess, Black women face systemic barriers that hinder their success. So today we're going to dive into some of these challenges and discuss the immediate actions women need to take.
Yeah, so let's get down to the bread and butter. Last time, guys, we talked about the importance of capital. So let's continue that conversation, especially let's dive deep into how critical, y'all, critical financial stability is for your success. So, ladies, I know how difficult it can be in business when starting a business to kind of get the capital you need and the disparity, especially for women, Black women entrepreneurs. So let's talk specifically, how can entrepreneurs save ourselves the headache when it comes to money and resources? What are some things that we can do to kind of level up in this area? What do you think, queens?
That is such a good question, and it's such a great topic. We find a lot that as Black owned businesses, minority owned businesses, number one, we're not getting the same amount of funding as everyone else. And that's just a fact. And a big part of this is it's not because we don't have great businesses, right? We have amazing businesses. What's happening is we don't always have the structure behind us. We don't have bank accounts, business bank accounts. We're not managing our finances. We don't often have actual business credit. We're not looking at how is our business actually reporting trade lines and things of that nature. So I think the first thing we have to do is really look at the business foundation. How is that money going in and out? Do you have credit accounts? Are you paying those credit accounts on time?
Come on, somebody, that part.
That is so important.
Yes. And I also think it's important for us to think of our businesses as businesses and operate like a business. So, Ellie, what you said is so true. Establishing the official bank account, official address, all of the things required to actually be approved for funding. And the second thing I would say is we need to be applying. If you don't apply for funding or credit, you can't get access to it. And so many people don't even apply because they don't know what the requirements are or they don't have the necessary paperwork to support the requirements. And that's why we're missing out on so much free money out there or money that you can use to build your business.
And I would just end by saying, like, make it a priority. Like, understand that you have a gift, you have a purpose, you have a vision, but it's an actual business. And for you to grow, scale, expand, and meet people, this part, the back end, the fundability, I call it fundability and credibility, that part matters. So make it a priority, be intentional about it, and also set some goals. Do you need to pay down your debt? Do you need to work on your credit score? Do you need to apply for some grants before you actually fully launch your business so that you have that cushion, that foundation already in place?
Listen, debt is such a huge contributor, and monitoring debt is such a huge contributor. Here's what I want you ladies to know. Although Black women are the highest educated group, right? We've proven that. We also hold the title for the lowest when it comes to median revenues. I mean, it's shocking. According to the Federal Reserve's 2022 Small Business Credit Survey, would you believe that women owned businesses, Black women owned businesses, are still suffering from the effects of the pandemic? Despite needing funding, non applicants made up 58% because most were discouraged about their chances of being approved. So it's almost like this cycle, right? We don't apply because we think we won't get approved, but then we also don't get approved because we're not prepared. So for the 42% that did apply and were approved, only 7% received all of the funding that they needed, while 20% received absolutely nothing. So debt can literally break a business, and it's crucial as an entrepreneur to have a plan, right? That goes beyond the results of performance and challenges as well as financing with other forms of financial assistance. So ladies, I want to check in with you guys, right? Because we got to hold each other accountable too. So what are some ways that we can avoid or minimize tackling on huge amounts of debt too soon?
Okay, so here's my first advice. If you do get approved for a business credit card, I encourage you to actually charge things on that card so you're building business credit. But make sure you're charging things that you know you'll be able to pay when the bill is due. And I really think that's important. So charge things that your business is already occurring, like let's say your cell phone bill or maybe your rent for your office space. These are already expenses you were probably paying prior to the credit card and you're going to continue paying, but now you're putting them on the credit card to build credit, but then pay those balances down.
Number two, I would say, is pick a debt strategy. And I'm not even going to put any specific name to it. There's not a right or wrong way to it. What I tell people is pick a system that works for you that you'll stick to. So some people like to get all their debts and knock off the things that are the highest interest rate. You know, three credit cards, one's 20% interest, one's 15% interest, one's 10% interest. So they'll start by docking off the ones with the highest interest first. Other people put together all their debts and they knock off the debt that's the lowest amount. So say you have three credit cards and one is $1,000, one is $5,000, one is $10,000. Well, they'll pay the one that's $1,000 off in full, knock that off. Then the $5,000 one, right? So the goal is to create momentum, to celebrate your wins, and to pick a strategy that you're going to stick with.
I think everything we're talking about is, the importance of having a plan. So much of the time, in our communities, we apply for this funding and we just want to say, oh, I got 25,000 or I got 100,000. But before you get the money, have a plan for the money.
Right.
This is why having a business plan is so important.
And you know what, Ellie, we can't forget about that free money, aka grants, because Ellie, I know you talk about grants and getting them often to help pay for your business. So give us some of your tips. Why do you think people should apply for grants and how can they do it?
Sometimes as a business owner, you may not be in a position where you even can take on debt, right? You might not be able to commit to a monthly payment, but that doesn't mean that your business cannot still move forward and access capital. So there's a few places you must look for grants. Number one, there's obviously government grants. So grants.gov, that's going to be a huge platform where you can find grant opportunities. I also want you to pay attention to smaller and state grants. So the first place people should go and look is the Minority Business Development Agency, mbda.gov. People don't realize, but there are minority business development agencies in every single city. And they are literally there to support the small businesses and the minority-owned businesses in that community. So that's going to be a great place for you to get grants. And then lastly, there are so many private grants.
So stay with us, DMV, because up next we're with Chaitali B. Desai. She is sharing the importance of healing and knowing your purpose. Be right back.